Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 34 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 34 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smart ass. And yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. A lot of people out there are struggling even with health. I'm a nutritional health coach. I'm a recovery coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please reach out. If you think my book can help someone, because I sure do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. My book is now on audio, guys, with my voice. So Simon & Schuster wanted to put my book to audio with someone else's voice, and I couldn't do that. So my producer, Ruben Rodriguez, he's the owner of Iron Horse Films, part owner of Hamilton Radio, is now doing audiobooks with your voice. So if anyone out there is interested, please reach out to me. And guys, listen, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. I'm here to help you. Now, I just want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors here, and then I'll introduce my really cool guest. John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer-songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a nonprofit network created for the creative. Facebook group page, Entertainment Luncheon South. He's the partner in the Joey D. and Johnny B. Rockin' Oldies band, and he also sings solo. All right, and I want to give a shout out to him and his wife Linny, because they put on this luncheon once a month. It's by invite only, $20. You get a great lunch, but you get incredible entertainment, and they don't keep a penny of it. So I want to thank them for doing so much for all of us. They put our stuff everywhere. They are unbelievable. They promote us like no one else. So I want to give them a big shout out. So having said that, guys, now I'd like to introduce my two really cool guests. One of them thinks he's a comedian, but that's all right. We'll get to that. All right. So we have Lisa Carter. And we have Dave Brennel, and they go by, say it, lady.
A couple of swingers.
Okay, a couple of swingers, okay? She looks like a swinger. I don't know about him, but, I mean, that's pretty cool. Hi.
Book swingers.
All right. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
So a couple of swingers. I love it. So, all right, let's start here. Lisa, you tell everyone a little bit about you, and then we'll have Dave do the same.
Yeah, so I've been doing some jazz, repertoire for like 8.5 years, and that gave me, the kind of the chutzpah to work with Dave Brennel, because he's very well established in the jazz world. So we kind of joined forces just recently. I mean, just in December. We had our first show. We had 2 shows in December. So this is a new act, but it's a new old act, because we're both old souls, vintage souls from way back when, so yeah.
Very cool. Dave?
I think old souls is a name they give people who are actually young but have old souls. So I don't know if we're old souls or not, but yeah, I went to high school in the 70s, and when all my friends were listening to the Eagles and the Doobie Brothers and all that stuff, I was listening to the Andrews Sisters and the Mills Brothers and Glenn Miller. And I just grew up with it. My mom sang songs around the house. So I grew up with old songs. and so that's my wheelhouse. I play other stuff, but that's really where I'm comfortable. I've been playing in bars for 45 years. Did a brief stint with a radio show. Did 4 years on the air, which were great, and then got off the air because I couldn't do it anymore. And still playing in bars, still running my ad business, writing jingles, writing commercials, etc.
So you write jingles.
I do.
Can you hit us with one?
Well, no, but here's something I just noticed.
Okay.
Certain people's names just fit beautifully into songs. So while you were talking, this is what I was hearing. Ruben Rodriguez picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been.
There you
That's
go.
as far as I got.
That's funny. So what jingles have you done? Any that we know?
Nah, they're all regional. I'm in Western Mass, so just New England stuff. The jingle market used to be more lucrative. Now they're just a dime a dozen. People are just doing jingles. They're not good, but people are doing jingles out of their basements. Okay, granted, I say that as I'm sitting in my basement, but the point is that there's a lot of jingles out there, and it's not. No. Things aren't quite what they used to be.
No, I agree with you with that. Okay, as you're sitting in your basement. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. So now, Lisa, we just had an interview also together about the Ultimate Share experience. You shared so much on there. Now you're here with Dave. This is so cool. I mean, you guys, this is really cool, especially a lot of my audience love oldies and they love all this. So you're going to make a lot of them very happy with this and smiling because not many people do what you guys do with this.
Well, it's a niche,
Yeah.
and we're certainly not, booking 1,000 shows a year, unless you're in New York City. I mean, that's the place, okay? But we bring it to Western Mass, and we're just going to keep bringing it. And like I said, it's a lost art, but we believe in it, and we're going to just keep driving it. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with you, Dave, with this question. Who were some of your musical influences growing up?
My first influence was my mom because she sang all the time. And, I learned songs from her, like, I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter, things like that. And then when I was 5 years old, I saw Wayne Newton on the Lucy Show. Not I Love Lucy, not Here's Lucy, but the Lucy Show, the one in the middle. And I was 5 years old, but I thought he was awesome. People used to make fun of him in the 60s because his voice was so high, but he had an amazing voice. And his records were fabulous, produced by Bobby Darin. And so for years, I just got Wayne Newton albums for birthdays, Christmas, and eventually I started banging on a piano. And actually, my first instrument, this isn't the actual one, but I took lessons for years on the chromatic harmonica, not a regular harmonica, but the kind with the button on it. I learned a lot about music, and then I just transferred that knowledge to the piano, and I started playing in bars for $35 a night. And now, after 45 years, I'm making $45 a
I
night.
knew you were going to say that.
I know. It was low-hanging fruit, right?
So wait, tell me about that harmonica with the button, because I don't really know much about that.
A typical harmonica, marine band, blues harp, whatever, essentially plays the white keys on the piano. This allows you to play the sharps and flats. So, boom. I should have warmed up.
That is so cool. All right. So I have to share something. You probably already know this. So, I never really loved the harmonica. I thought it was cool, but AGT or BGT, I don't even know which one it was, whatever. But they had dueling harmonicas, the two guys together. But they each played like 3 or 4 harmonicas.
Mm-hmm.
So he had them like on his thing, and I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, Johnny Cash used to do that too. He wasn't a player, but he used to swap them back and forth. Because I don't have one on me, but a marine band, a typical harmonica, it only plays a couple of chords. And so if you really want to play all the chords in a song. Sometimes people will switch off during a song,
Oh,
and so they can play all the chords.
okay, so cool. So now you play the harmonica, you play the piano, anything else?
Any other musical instruments?
Yes.
Not seriously, no.
Okay, all right. So now, do you have that song that has stayed with you forever that you could honestly say is your favorite song, or no?
My favorite song is Stardust.
Oh,
I love it so much that I don't do it very often because I don't feel I do it justice. I'd rather listen to Nat King Cole sing it than hear myself sing it. So, but that's my favorite song. And so I'm a very emotional guy. I'm what you call a crier.
you don't seem like emotional. You don't even change. You don't even,
No.
when you're telling your stupid jokes, you don't even smile. That's so funny. All right, talk.
No. Where were we?
You said you're an
told me.
emotional guy.
I am. So there are songs like you'll never hear me do Daddy's Little Girl because I have a daughter and I'll cry my eyes out. You'll never hear me do I'll Be Seeing You because it's just such a sad song. And so I'm too emotional sometimes for this business. It's a problem.
Lisa, is he joking with me?
No.
No, he's serious. He's got deadpan delivery and he's got shtick, but underneath all that, there's a really soft, sweet, sweet man.
Oh, so you hide it with that shtick. You hide it.
No, sometimes I wear it on my sleeve, but in this particular setting, I'm not going to start crying. now.
Right. Now that's something,
Well,
boy.
it's early yet, but we'll see.
All right, you never know. I might get you to cry now. I got Lisa to cry the show before.
Oh, yes, I cried. Yes.
So, all right, I'm staying with you a little bit, Dave. All right, so now, do you talk about your age, or I can't ask that?
Yeah, it changes every year.
Okay.
I'm 64.
Okay, so am I. All right, so
There
now
you
I
go.
can ask you, okay, perfect. So
Were
when
you
we,
born in 1960?
61.
Oh, see, I realized I was born at the end of 60, which means I was born in the Eisenhower administration, the last 2 months of it. And when I realized that, it made me feel way older.
Okay. So now I have a question. So when we were growing up, because it is kind of odd for people our age to love all these old songs, okay? So I always said I'm an old soul as well, and I always said I was born too late because I'm a doo-wop oldies and Elvis girl. All right? And it's not that my parents listened to Elvis or the oldies. I used to drive them crazy. Mommy, oldies, oldies. 98.1 back in the day. I lived in New York till I was 12. And we'd get in the car, Mommy, Elvis, Mommy, oldies. I drove them crazy. I have no idea how that started or what. But now you guys, with all the old music as well. And, so I have a question for you. When we were growing up, Dave, a lot of people, how do I say this? All right. When we were in grammar school, then we went into high school, okay? A lot of our friends were not listening to oldies. Right, so I used to get away with it because of my silly personality, so they never made fun of me about it. But I've heard that a lot of people were made fun of the music they were listening to. Did that ever happen to you, Dave?
Not made fun of, but I find it a challenge sometimes, like in a bar, trying to judge people. It's like, they're kind of young. Are they going to think these songs are stupid, But it's surprising, boy. Sometimes people come up to you who you would, if you're kind of like judging them, like, what do I think they like? Totally wrong.
Okay.
Young people come up to me and like, oh man, got any more Sinatra? It's like,
Okay.
wow. Nobody would have laughed at me over Elvis. I grew up in a very Elvis-friendly family. My grandparents and my aunts had pictures of Jesus and Elvis on their walls. So I saw Elvis when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
Springfield Civic Center, 1975. And that was probably the best show I'll ever see. He was not Fat Elvis yet. He looked great. He was probably wearing a girdle, but he looked great. And I'm so happy I saw that.
Well, I never got to see him. My mom finally said I could. My ticket is hanging in my Elvis poker room.
Oh.
I had a
Wow.
pink and purple poker table made. I'm a poker dealer as well. I made 2,000 Elvis poker chips, and it's hanging in the room. So I want to hug you and touch you now because you got to see Elvis. Producer, I need a favor. Come out here for 1 minute. Okay, Gino, come out here for 1 minute. I want to show a photo. You got to put it on the camera for them to see. Dave, I drew these two photos. Hold it this way. Well, that they could see it.
Oh, Elvis and Jesus?
Yep. Because he mentioned you got to put it by a camera. All right, get a little closer.
Oh, wow.
Elvis and Jesus. That's hanging in my house. I drew
Oh, my
those.
God.
That's really cool.
All right, you said Elvis
I
and
s-
Jesus is
I s-
hanging in your house. I drew Elvis
Exactly.
and Jesus
That's
together.
really cool.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Good
I
thing
just
my grandparents weren't Jewish.
I had to show you. I had to show you because you said that.
That's wild.
All right. So now we're going to take a break. We're going to talk to Lisa now, and we'll get
All
back
right.
to you. So Lisa, who were some of your musical influences growing up?
Believe it or not, my mom was always listening to Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck.
Cool.
And
Cool.
I love that. I love that music. I mean, Glenn Campbell, we were watching all those shows on TV in the 70s. So I had a real love for all that kind of music. Yeah.
Now, do you have that song? I think you do. That
Which one?
song.
Oh, that perfect song that you
Yeah.
just love so much?
Yep.
There's a lot of them, I mean, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Come on, you can answer it.
Well, you know what? Working with Dave, and building this new repertoire, I love the Gaga Bennett stuff that we do. So I'm really partial to Lady is a Tramp.
Oh,
Loving that stuff. I just love, yeah. It just does something. And he's big into Keely Smith and Louis Prima, and we do that together, and that's iconic, and I love it. It speaks to me. I am not a pop singer girl. I will never, I can't. I don't know how. I praise the girls around this area that can do pop. I can't. Even though Cher is the goddess of pop, she's different. This stuff is what I love. All this, what is it, Dave? 30s, 40s, 50s? Is that what we do?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay.
wow.
They were swinging in the 60s, but nobody talks about that because that was like the Mad Men stuff and not the British invasion stuff,
Wait, I don't understand what you just said.
I'm saying
Tell me.
Sinatra was still singing in the 60s, and so was Dean Martin and Tony Bennett. I mean, they never stopped swinging.
Right, okay.
That wasn't the popular music that we talk about, the
Gotcha.
popular music of the day. Although, if you look back on the charts, there's like the Beatles came to town, but Doris Day had the #1 hit, so they were still out there.
Yes, they still were. It's so funny because I interview a lot of young up-and-coming indie artists, and some as young as 8 or 9 years old who are incredible, okay? But I ask all of them, the similar question as, what do you think of the oldies? And every one of them in their own words will always tell me if it wasn't for that music, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So they love it, they acknowledge it, and they respect it and honor it,
Sure.
I mean, that was the music, right?
It was. I just went to a concert last night in Boston. I saw Todd Rundgren singing the Burt Bacharach songbook.
Oh,
It was a great show.
That's
But
cool.
he said that Burt Bacharach inspired his song, Hello, It's Me. And if you listen to it, it's
Oh.
like, yeah, that does sound like Burt Bacharach.
oh, neat.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
so
sorry, that was
cool.
just on my mind, yeah.
So wait, I want to share something about Elvis with you, Dave. Okay. Well, wait, Lisa, what did you think of Elvis?
You know what? I remember that when he died. I mean, in '79 was it? I
Nope,
think I was-
77.
Oh, was it? Oh, see, there you go. I remember coming home from school and being like super sad. I just sat on my fence and just like sobbed, But he wasn't big in our household.
Okay.
I appreciate his music now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I had Fats Domino's daughter Karen live in studio Tuesday. Okay. She sat right here next to me. It was amazing. So I'm going to share something with you, Dave, that you're going to find interesting. And I am probably, everybody likes to think they're the biggest Elvis fan, but I am, okay? No. So anyway, I was so excited about meeting her for so many reasons, but even this one. So a lot of people don't know this, but whenever people called Elvis the king of rock and roll, he would always say, I'm not the king, Jesus is, right? He would always say that. I'm just an entertainer. But he would also tell people who the real king of rock and roll was Fats Domino to him. He always gave him that honor, and that's pretty cool. I just wanted to share that.
People, that's interesting. People say, who invented rock and roll?
Bill
Was it
Haley.
Chuck Berry, Bill Haley,
Yeah.
whatever. But Fats Domino was playing rock and roll in 1949.
That's right. And then Elvis always honored him and acknowledged that. Very cool. So now, let's give everybody a huge honor here. We're going to play one of your songs, and then we'll have you both talk about it.
I hope it's the one I like.
Well, we have two. We have two. Don't worry. I'm sure you're going to like both of them. Here we go.
We just started. Come on.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-I, 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 do-I. Don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is swing. Do-I, 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 do-I. Makes no difference if it's sweet or it's hot. You got that rhythm, give it everything you got. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-I, 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 do-I. Do you feel the gravity? Come on. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-I, 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 do-I. Do-I, 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 do-I. Do-I, 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 do-I. Do-I, 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 don't mean a thing. To lift it up for young love, ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. No, it makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-I, 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 do-I. Thank you very much.
That was our
All
first
right.
gig.
That was, all
That's
right,
our first-
Dave,
our
tell
first
us about that song and who's doing what. Come on.
Gosh, great Duke Ellington song. We use it not only as our slogan, but kind of to diffuse the name of the band. A couple of swingers, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. So everybody will go, what? Oh, I get it.
Right. I mean, I'm
but-
getting 1-800 calls,
Exactly.
okay? Not good, not good.
Sometimes you just think of things you can't say them. But anyway, what was the question?
Oh my gosh. Tell us about that song.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a great song. I wish I knew a lot about that particular song. It's written by Duke Ellington, and his band made it famous. And
Well,
so we
you're
do
as
it.
far as you guys, who does what in the song? Who's singing?
Oh.
Who's playing what?
Yeah, we're both singing. I start the scat, and then Lisa starts scatting, and our great sax player, Mr. Bruce Krasen, Played with Tony Bennett. Played with everybody. He's
All
a
right,
great
wow.
player. Lives in Northampton, Massachusetts, and I'm also we don't use a drummer on club gigs. I actually have a hi-hat that I play with my left foot. So if you hear that hi-hat going, on the offbeats there, that's me.
Oh,
It's
that's
a great
pretty
way to put extra percussion into the band without having to pay somebody.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So, yeah, okay. No one's ever told me that. That's pretty cool.
But like,
Alright.
I dig that song because Tony Bennett did it with Lady Gaga,
Right.
and I got like so inspired by it. But see, like with Dave Brunel, which of course you called him Brunel, which I think is cute. It's
Oh,
Brunel.
I'm sorry, Brunel.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
Listen, no judgment. Okay.
The accent is silent.
Anyway, he changes the arrangement. Like, he is not into the original. He likes to make it his own. So he's like changes the arrangement. So you got to kind of it's different every time, which is really kind of cool because jazz is improv. You're not going to scat the same. It's going to be different. So that's what we do. We kind of know what we're supposed to do, but we go off the chart.
Keeps you on your toes.
Okay.
Keeps it interesting. If you're playing the same songs every night, it can get boring.
Makes me very nervous. Makes me very nervous. Call the rabbi. Oy. Okay. Anyway.
So, okay, let me ask you something then. Because it's swing, okay, how many shows do you guys do a month?
just
Let me
started.
tell you the history.
Oh, you just started, okay.
Yeah, we just started. As soon as we started, we took 3 months off for me to get my knee replaced.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, you got to do it, And so we're just getting back into it now. We've got a big show booked at the Majestic Theater in West Springfield, Massachusetts,
Very cool.
in August 14th, and a few smaller gigs before that. But we're just ramping up. I mean, this is
Okay.
very new.
Very
Okay.
new. But this is the big show.
And
The
that's
very
at the theater. Who else is involved in that with you guys?
Bruce Krasen, the greatest sax player, and our drummer, Joey Fitzpatrick.
Okay. Very cool.
And that's the whole band, 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Listen, Jerry, there's a lot of diversity. He's got me tap dancing in the show, which I think is very cool. I'm a tap dancer, man. So when he said, I'm playing T for 2, I said, okay, I'll do some soft shoes. So, you're going to see a lot of good stuff in that show. There's a lot of comedy. I mean, Dave Brunel is a comedian, right?
Well,
Natural.
there it is.
Okay, but he's the musical director of the show. He tells me what the lineup is, and I love it. I go along with it because I love everything he picks. I don't have to think. I just have to practice.
Okay. Wow. All right, so that's pretty cool. So, all right, I have a question about swing music. All right? Because when people think of swing, okay, they only think of like the loud, swinging sound and blah, 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 blah.
The big bands.
Yes, the big bands, thank you. But that's not all that it's about, right?
No, the big bands were really popular in the late 30s and through the 40s. And then what started happening toward the late 40s is the bands were too big to play. They nobody could afford them. And so smaller ensembles started popping up. The one that comes to mind, 2 that come to mind, Louis Prima, fabulous band.
Yeah.
And there was just 3 horns in that band. Louis Jordan, a lot of people credit Louis Jordan as one of the innovators of rock and roll because he was such a wild front man. Heck, I'm going to go with Louis Armstrong. Anybody named Louis, apparently.
Okay, that's funny, right?
They were, yeah, it is. But all these smaller ensembles, and they were swinging like never before. And then it just, from there. I mean, Sinatra was always swinging with a big band, but you're right. People think, oh, Glenn Miller. But
Right.
We've never stopped swinging since Benny Goodman.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, all right. So now, do you have any children?
Yes, I have a very talented daughter who is a jazz singer and trombonist in Philadelphia. She plays in Jersey and Philly and New York, and She's played Birdland, and she's put out 2 albums, and she's wonderful. Her name is Haley Vernell. You can Google it, Hailey. And my son is a great player. He's a full-time mechanical engineer. I don't know where he got that, but a great piano player. I mean, really better than me, and great sax player. He's starting to gig again. Yes. So the answer is yes, I have children.
So wait, where in New York and New Jersey does your daughter play, or has she played? I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. God, I wish maybe I could sneak and text her during the show.
Sneak
because
and text
I'm
her,
trying to
but
think of a
listen.
Jersey location. I mean, I've seen her in clubs in New York.
Okay. Is she? Do me a favor though. If
Yeah.
she's gonna come like anytime soon, please let me know.
Yeah,
All right, that would be pretty cool.
I will do that.
Wow. So, what are her albums?
One is called Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, which is, she finds songs in the strangest places. The Carousel of Progress at Disney World has a song, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. So she had it arranged for big band, and she sings it on her album, and it's fabulous. And I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles was her first album. She's a very traditional jazz singer. She does very traditional old songs. I mean, it's very fresh, but, because a lot of jazz since bebop has just been going in all different directions. But she kind of brings it back home to something that everybody can relate to.
Beautiful.
And she's got a great voice, and she's a great player.
Wow, beautiful. So, do you ever sing Elvis?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, really?
sure.
Would you like to give us a little with your piano?
All right.
Here we go.
Treat me like a fool, treat me mean and cruel, but love me. Take my aching heart, tear it all apart, but love me. I hope you can hear the piano better than I can.
Come on, a little more. A little more. Come on.
How about this one? I think this is the sexiest Elvis song. One night with you
Okay.
is what I'm now hoping for. The thing that we two could plan would make my dreams come true.
All right. So I have to say something to you. That is not the sexiest Elvis song.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you which one is, honey. I mean, I'm a female, baby.
All right.
So the song Such a Night is
yeah.
sexiest song Elvis Presley ever sang, and he breathes
Sure.
heavy at the end and everything, right? So I've interviewed hundreds of ETAs. None of them will sing it because they know they can't do what he did.
Yeah.
So do you know who Sean Clush is?
Yes.
No, but
He's
I'd
the biggest
like to.
He's the biggest Elvis
Tribute artist. Like
artist.
Graceland
Yeah.
gave him that title.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Now, did you ever hear of a young one named Landon James?
No.
All right. So Landon James, I'm going to be interviewing again soon, but I interviewed him when he was only 16. He's 20 now. I'm
Okay.
telling you this for a reason because you're an Elvis fan. So a few years back, I'm interviewing the kid, and back then we were live on Facebook. All right? So he was standing in his thing, and he says, Jerry, what Elvis song you want? And I said, How Great Thou Art. So he sang it live. Beautiful. He said, all right, Jerry, what other one? And I said, well, now keep in mind he's 16 at the time. I said, the sexiest song Elvis ever sang, Such a Night. And I understand if you don't want to do it, it's okay. And he said, well, when are we doing our next interview? I said, in a few weeks. Why do you want to practice? And he says, you know what? Forget it. I'm doing it for you. The kid rocked it. He was 16.
Wow.
So now, a year and a half ago, my daughter and my grandson surprised me in Hard Rock Cafe in AC to see Sean Clush.
Yeah.
So I'm in my Elvis hat, shirt, jacket, shoes, pocketbook, the whole bit. We're a few rows back and we're in the center. He's singing for about a half an hour and then he's talking to us. I stand up and yell, Such a Night. Well, his band instantly, my grandson, who's 24, was like, he was blown away that band in a tenth of a second started playing it. He sings the chorus. He turns around, he looks at me, he goes, "Lady, really?" He goes, "I got another hour to go. You really think I'm going to sing that song?" And we were cracking up. He wouldn't do it. And that's Sean Clush.
That's great.
Yep. So such a night, baby.
I
But
don't do the
that
song
was
myself,
great.
but-
Thanks for doing that for me, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a quick little footnote. I just find humor in this. I saw Elvis in 1975. I was 14. I
Yep.
didn't own binoculars, but I wanted to see him really well, so I brought what I had to the Civic Center, which was a rifle scope. Sounds ridiculous now, but it was 1975, and I'm like, I want to see Elvis. So I sat there like that, watching Elvis through crosshairs, but I saw him really close, so it worked. But it's, I wouldn't do that today.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Incredible.
Things were different then.
Things were very different then. So we'll talk just another minute about Elvis, and then we'll get off of Elvis. So Dave, did you ever hear of Elvis Aaron Presley Jr.?
Apparently not.
Okay. Did you hear of Deborah Presley Brando?
No.
Okay. So I've been so honored. So years ago, his nurse, Marion Cock, who wrote the book, I Called Him Babe, she's the one who took care of him in the last few years of his life. I became very close with her. She just recently passed away. She was in her 90s, and she was amazing. So I was honored with that interview. A couple years ago, I was honored with Priscilla Presley's son, Navarone.
Wow.
But I was honored with Elvis Aaron Presley Jr., who is Elvis Presley's son. I have all the court documents. If you Google him, not only does he look like, he was our age, actually. He was born in 61. If you Google him, he looks just like an older, heavy Elvis. But when you hear him sing, that's not an ETA singing. That is Elvis singing. That is his son. Okay? Then, and his mother's name was Angelique. She was in a movie with Elvis, and got pregnant and had to give the baby away for adoption. So he was given away to a beautiful family who loved Elvis. So his story's beautiful. He got to meet Elvis and go backstage. Elvis knew it was his son because they were following him for years since he was born to make sure it didn't get out. Elvis says, "Bring him backstage." Now, he doesn't even know he's adopted at that point because his mom had to sign papers and wouldn't be told till he was 21. So he doesn't even think he's adopted. And it's okay to call someone son, Southern, right? They bring him backstage. You want to meet the king? They go backstage. He's with a couple buddies. Elvis says, "Hi, boys," looks at him and says, "Hello, son." Takes a ring off his finger, says, "Here, son, I'd like you to have this." He said, "Sir, I can't take that." "No, son, please take it." He's got a ring from his father and everything. When he turned 21, they told him the truth. He said, "I don't want anything from Graceland except my father's name." And Graceland even had to send a letter saying you deserve the name of his father, and he has his father's name.
Wow. Never heard that.
So now Deborah Presley Brando was Elvis Presley's first daughter. Elvis was 20 years old, turning 21. She was only 15. And Deborah also was married to Marlon Brando's son, Christian, after Marlon died. Deborah's a little older than us, but her mother was only 15, gets pregnant. Elvis wanted to be in the baby's life, but circumstances, she said, "I won't do this to you, Elvis," because she was so young and he was almost 21 and he could have got in trouble. So a lot went on, but I got to interview both of them, and she wrote a book called The Starseed Child. So if you want to look it up, it's awesome. I couldn't put
All
it
right.
down. Okay?
Wow.
So, having
That's
said
great. That's great info. Thank you.
yeah. So now let's get back to you guys. So Lisa, so what would you like to tell everybody out there about your duo?
Well, like Dave said, we're just getting started. But because of his background, not only as a musician, he's a writer of commercials, jingles. I mean, multi-talented. He can devise a show that's like so cool.
Yeah.
It's beyond music. Okay, so I'm just really honored to be working with Dave, being able to expand my knowledge of jazz. As you see, he's technical. Okay. I'm kind of the glitter girl in the front, so I can't say that I have that kind of skill, but it's a good duo. It is. it's a lot of fun, and we love the same music, and I love learning. So I'm learning a lot for him. He's got that teacher thing going on. He doesn't try to be, but he is, and
So-
it's okay.
So I have
And I
a,
have, yeah, and I have to talk about his roadie, which
Okay.
is his best friend Jack. I mean, Jack is an incredible guy because he's a musician from LA, famous, okay? And he kind of sits in on our stuff. And he's like our cheerleader, and so amazing that it's all about the people you surround yourself with. You're as good as the people you surround yourself with. And when I'm around these guys, the sky's the limit. So a shout out to Jack if he's listening.
California Jack.
California
California
Jack.
Jack.
He's a cool dude. And like we keep him in our back pocket, you know, because he's
so
into
great.
it, man.
that's so
He
great.
loves it.
So
Okay.
have you guys talked about possibly singing other stuff other than swing together?
No, we haven't.
Okay, is there a reason why? Because I think you could do a lot more.
We could. We'd have to change the name of the act.
No, I don't mean change the name, just add another
Yeah.
act.
And a different act.
Yes. Keep this
Oh.
going and then add another one because I think you guys could do anything.
I don't know.
Not
I
discussed
did
it.
that. I did that, Dave, with my previous piano player.
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we had a big repertoire of all different types of things. Burt Bacharach, and I love all that stuff. And my heart goes back to this. So this is where I want to be. I
Good.
don't really want to go away from
Okay.
this. I love
Yeah,
this.
no, don't go away
No,
from it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing in bars for a long time, and sure, I played Billy Joel and Elton John and the Beatles and all that great stuff. But it's so thrilling to
Yeah.
do a gig with Lisa, and it's like we're just going to swing this all night, you know. And we're not going to do any of that cover stuff that people want to hear. We're just going to do what we want to
Exactly.
hear.
Yeah.
You're so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, beautiful. So,
Have
do we
you
have
ever heard of-
another? Wait, go
One
ahead,
more
Lisa.
question. One question. Have you ever heard of postmodern jukebox?
Sure.
Okay. Well, see, I got really into that before I met Dave, and I learned a couple tunes from this chick Ariana Savalas, who was Telly Savalas' daughter. One
Oh,
of the best jazz singers ever. And again, you pull a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and that's how you collaborate with Dave Brunel. But anyway, that kind of influenced me. But what's cool about Dave is he doesn't like any of this old stuff that I've done. He likes to recreate the new. So
okay.
we're making our own mark is what we're doing.
Okay.
I might pull like "Peel Me a Grape" because I love that song, from Ariana. But we're creating new
Okay. Yeah.
beginnings.
No,
That's
I
what-
love what you're doing. I just didn't know if you were going to be doing other stuff as well. What you're doing is amazing.
Now,
So,
Lisa is way more knowledgeable about newer acts that do swing than I am. So she'll say, "Let's do Frem Frem Sauce," and I'll say, "Oh, by Nat King Cole," and she'll say, "No, by Diana Krall," or whoever it
Right.
was. Diana Krall, yeah. And I didn't know Diana Krall did that song, so she keeps
Yeah,
me up to date
yeah.
on Tony Bennett and the newer stuff. Who's
Yeah.
who's covering everything.
Yeah.
Lisa, give us a little. Come on.
Give us a little what,
But
honey?
the song he just said.
Which one?
Frem Frem
Oh.
Sauce.
I don't like French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes. I keep it satisfied. I want the frame sauce with an all-time fare with your father on the side. There you go.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and I didn't like that song until I met Dave Brunel.
I like that song. Come on, that's a cool song.
Well, we do a little shtick before it. I'm like, hey, Dave, have you ever heard of Shafalfa? It's all about the shtick, I mean, we do a duet, Slow Boat to China, with Barry Manilow and Bette Midler. He doesn't do the shtick the way I learned it. He throws in other stuff, but it's funny because that's a great song.
She
Wait.
starts by saying, "Dave, what have you been doing lately?" And she never knows what my response is going to be.
Right.
Sometimes it's, "Well, I've still got my macrame,"
Yeah,
whatever.
so I have to be like quick. And it's hard because he's quicker.
I love that. So, can you give us a little taste of something?
I'm sorry, what are you asking?
Like, give us a little taste of it, of what you guys do, your banter back and forth.
Oh, jeez.
No, I don't think we can.
No, because it goes in the
I really
song.
don't think that would work.
All right,
No,
all
it
right.
goes in the song.
We,
You know what I mean?
we got to be in a bar. There's got to be alcohol involved.
Drinks. All right.
Yeah.
All right, producer, we have another song? Okay, let's play the next one and we'll have you talk about it.
All right.
That old black magic has me in its spell.
Oh, black magic that you weave so well.
Those icy fingers up and down my spine.
The same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine.
The same old tingle that I feel inside.
Then that elevator starts its ride.
Down and down I go,
Round and round I go.
like a leaf that's caught in the tide.
I should stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name, and I'm aflame.
A flame with such burning desire.
And only your kiss
Put out the fire. For you are the lover I have waited for.
You're the maid that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, baby,
Down and down I go, round and round I go, in a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love.
oh, in a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love.
In a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love.
I should stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name, and I'm aflame.
A flame with burning desire.
Then only your kiss
Put out the fire. For you're the lover I have waited for.
You're the maid that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, baby,
Down and down I go, round and round I go, in a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love.
in a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love.
In a spin, loving the spin I'm in, under that old black magic called love. Under that old black magic called love.
So tell us about that song. I love it.
Oh, Dave, you got to tell this story. This is a very funny story.
Have I forgotten the story? I was just going to
Oh.
talk about the song.
Okay, go ahead. You talk about the song. I'll tell about the
You
story.
can tell the story. I'm
Okay.
anxious to hear that story. No,
Okay.
that was borrowed from Louis Prima and Keely Smith, who were, they were just such a breakthrough in swing music because they were that small ensemble, and they started playing in Vegas when Vegas was brand new, and they played later than anybody else. So everybody else, Sinatra and Sammy Davis, they'd all come see them after hours. And so I was so thrilled to have somebody to sing that song. And my son came to our second gig, and I remember going over to him and telling him, and we had a sax player, and I said, Paul, I get to do Louis Prima and Keely Smith. This is so cool. And he said, yeah, and you have your own Stan Butera, who was the sax player for Louis Prima. So it's just, I always loved that arrangement, and there's nothing else like it. So it was just, that was really special to be able to put that together. That was a studio recording. The other thing you played was live, but we did that in the studio.
It's beautiful. Come on, make us laugh, girl.
Okay, so this is the story, and this is like a crier one, because that was the first song that Dave asked me to learn together with him. And so when we practiced it on his beautiful grand piano in his living room, it was summertime last summer. It was rough. I mean, he was like, this is tough. I don't know if we can do it. I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, no, we can do this, Dave. I know I can get it. I know I can do this. And it's like, we worked on it, and it's like our best song, It's just like, it's our breakthrough song, and it was the one that we questioned, but we did it, and I'm grateful. So,
Beautiful.
Thank you, Dave.
Actually, we did a gig where I wouldn't let us do it.
Right,
Remember?
you wouldn't let us do it.
No,
Wait,
not gonna
what?
do it. We did a gig. Lisa actually came and sat in on one of my gigs for a set, and she wanted to do that song. I was like,
Nope.
no, I'm afraid.
Not
You
ready.
just learned
Not
it.
ready.
Not ready.
Oh,
Not ready.
you didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
That's funny. So
Yeah.
how did you guys connect?
Uh,
Why don't you go? Because I have no memory of it.
yeah. So 10 years ago, Jerry, I walked into an Italian restaurant, which is no longer there, in downtown Springfield, and I was with a friend of mine, and we heard this beautiful voice and a piano, and I looked at my friend Melody, and I said, "What a beautiful rendition that Michael Bublé's singing." And she looked at me and said, "It's not Michael Bublé. There's a piano player in the corner of the room." And I was blown away because I really thought it was a recording.
Oh, wow.
So I went over to Dave. He doesn't remember this because he was working, but I asked him for his card, and it's funny. I still have it from 10 years ago. I'll never ever extinguish it. It's meaningful to me. So he looked very different. He had brown hair then. But anyway, he still looked
It was dyed though.
He still looks good, Dave. So I took his card and I thought to myself, wow, how do you get to play with that guy? And here it is 10 years later.
That's
I get to
beautiful.
play with that guy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. it's a good
Lisa,
story.
do you have any children?
No, I have 2 cats. That's it.
None that you know of.
No, really. No, you know why? Someone pointed this out to me the other day. They said, you're married to the stage. Kind of true.
Okay.
To be in this business, you have to really be with a partner that understands
Yeah.
late nights, early mornings, because we're up all night,
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, all that stuff. And I just didn't get to meet that person, but it's
Okay.
okay.
I
It's
get it.
okay.
I get it.
There
So
you go.
you were never married?
Never married, no
Okay.
children, no.
Okay. So now, Dave, do your children love your music?
They seem to. I've put out 2 albums, and not swing music, just really pop stuff, original songs, and they both played on both albums, and that's one of my proudest things, that my kids like my albums,
Yeah.
because those are very personal things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say they like my music, and they certainly like swing. I mean, it's funny, them loving music from the 30s and 40s would have been like me growing up being into Stephen Foster,
Right.
because that's really old music now. But yeah,
I
they
mean,
love
wow.
old stuff. They love
Yeah.
it.
It was old for us to like swing.
I know.
Imagine them, right? So yeah.
A lot of young people love
Yeah.
this music.
Yeah.
I'm finding.
So, okay, so now, Lisa, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? I don't want you to forget anything. Tell us maybe how to reach out to you guys, where you guys are, your public pages, anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dave set up a website, acoupleofswingers.com. And, right now we've got this show coming up August 14th at the Majestic Theater, which we're really excited about because it's, there's a lot going on in this show, let me tell you. Dave produced a film noir before we actually even start the show, of a black and white film that he wrote, produced, edited, and we're acting. It's like an acting thing that we do before we even come on stage. So, he goes beyond the call of duty. As far as entertainment, A+. That's all I'm going to say. I'm really excited. I'm excited about the Majestic. I'm excited about the film noir. You know, the music, the dancing, the comedy. It's exciting stuff. You know, if I never do another gig and I just do this one with Dave Brunel, I'll be okay. I'll say I've lived.
Okay, beautiful. Dave, what would you like to share with the listeners?
Well, I mean, let me just, because Lisa said some very nice things about me. Let me just say, you know, I've been doing an awful lot of gigs over the years, and it's easy to just sit behind the piano and forget this is show business. And one thing Lisa reminds me of all the time, this is show business. And, you know, when she shows up to a gig, you know, every head in the bar turns because she looks like $1 million, and so you know, frankly, I went out and bought a green jacket. It's because I'm into show business, you know. This is the big time.
Are there sparkles on it?
I wish. Not yet.
Yeah, you know why? You know why, Jerry? People always say they hear what they see. So I figure, hey, let's look good, you know, especially the demographic that we have, the older crowd demographic. They love when you dress up.
Yes,
And
they do.
They do all this, the feathers and all that.
Yes,
But,
they do.
you know, because it just adds to the, and you know, our sax player does the same thing. Like he asks us what we're wearing, you know, and he matches, and it's just fabulous, you know. It's like Jack, you know, California Jack said, you look like a unit. We are a unit in this business we call show. It's important. And we live for this stuff. I mean, we have lives and normal things, but we live for this stuff.
I could tell. Do you ever sing to anyone while you're cleaning their teeth?
No, because, you know, my dentist, I've gotten fired twice from a doctor. He said, you got to stop talking about the shows and talk about flossing more. So, you know, I got to be careful. You know, more periodontal scaling, less share, less jazz.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Right.
That's
Sell
too
a
funny.
crown. He says, sell a crown. Stop talking about, you know, show business. All right.
So,
whatever.
I'm going to read a poem out of my book. Dave has not heard it. So I wrote this poem called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. And Dave, I read it when I do entertainers because a lot of people listen to you guys and they message me how great everybody is and they wish they had something to offer. A lot of people feel like they don't have anything to offer. And I'm here to let everyone know that everyone was born with a gift. And I said this on my last show with Lisa. Imagine if we didn't have sanitation workers. Like, I would freak out. Okay, my house is so spotless, neat, organized. My daughter does not live like me, okay? And my mother did not live like me. And my cleaning girls are like, why am I here? So sanitation workers to me, are you kidding me? They're way up there, okay? So everybody has something to offer. So if you're questioning your self-worth, guys, please listen to every word of this poem, okay? Here we go. We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour, like these guys are doing. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. So don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name, a couple of swingers, baby, will live forever, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that's what you guys are doing.
That's great.
Thank you. You are making so many people.
Prior,
You guys are making so many people smile. You know, COVID was horrendous and so many people were on lockdown and even afterwards. And I would go out to a lot of my friends' shows and I would do lives on Facebook and I would get messages from people saying, Jerry, thank you for that live. I'm in the hospital and the nurse propped up their phone for them so they could watch the music. And so what you guys are doing on top of it is even more fun and happy and making people, you know, from back in the day, like, again, not many people do what you guys are doing. So thank you for that.
Love doing it.
I'm so happy. I'm glad
What
we
does that
got
say?
to meet.
I love the life I live, and I live the life I love.
See? There you go.
Okay. So, Jerry, thank you so much. You're just an inspiration to both of us. Thank you.
I feel the same way about you guys. So, Dave, you want to take us out with a little piano?
Yeah, when I go over there, can you tell I'm not wearing pants?
No, I can't tell. Just go a little
All right.
further, though.
Thanks.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is.
You want vocals or just
Anything you
instrumental?
want to do.
Okay.
Hot biscuits, hot biscuits.
We can't sing it together. There's a delay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Can't do it.
All
I
right.
wish we could.
All right.
Wish we could.
All right. Okay.
Because of you, there's a song in my heart. Because of you, my romance has its start. Because of you, the sun will shine, the moon and stars will say you're mine, forever and never to part. I only live for your love and your kiss. It's paradise to be near you like this. Because of you, my life is now worthwhile, and I can smile because of you.
Beautiful.
My favorite Tony Bennett song.
Thank you. So you
Thank
guys
you.
have really honored me here
Thank you.
today on the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. You made my day. This is such a cool interview. Very different from any of the other ones I've done. This is so cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Producer, take us out.
Who wants to take out?
I said producer, take
Oh,
us out.
producer. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time.